I guess I was just really lucky. I was working in the clothing industry. My big dream to be a fashion designer. Had already been to UCLA for fashion design and merchandising in California. And I was working in the Woodland Hills Mall at a place called Leatherbound Ltd. I don't even think I was 18 yet. Now that I'm thinking of it, I fake ID back then, so I could get into clubs and work in clubs and stuff too. But uh, I was working three places. I worked Orange Julius in the center of the mall. I worked Hot Nuts. That's right, Hot Nuts. It was a little thing in the middle of the mall where they had all kinds of different fresh roasted nuts, and they kept them hot, and you dish them out to the customers, and they charged big money for it and stuff, and they were really good, um, especially toffee ones. And then I worked Leatherbound Ltd, all three of them. And then when I got tired of one job, I would go to another one. And I worked a shoe store in there, a brand name shoe store. I think it was like Kenny Shoes or something like that. Oh, I hated that job. But anyway, Leatherbound Ltd was very much an education. I don't know if they're still in business or not, but I was very lucky because the people I worked around really knew leather and they were young. And uh, these clothes were so expensive. They had clothes, they had briefcases, they had wallets, they had all kinds of very high end, elegant leather items for sale. Tony Lama boots was one of the things we sold. And those boots, I mean, uh, the lizard tip blonde and rust colored boot was like in the thousands. And then um, we had eel skin, snake skin. We had um, what was it? Ostrich. The ostrich boots were $3,000. And so there's all kinds of different leathers, and the people that I worked with, like this one girl that was an assistant manager there, she brought in her boyfriend's farm boots. They were beat to death and wore out. They looked like farm boots, and they were a cheaper brand. They were like a Justin or something, and we didn't sell those at that store. But she brought them in because we had all the chemicals and all the creams and all the cool stuff, and we were allowed to use it on the garments, conditioned garments, or if one got scratched or something, we could, fix it up so it could still be sold without having to mark it down and all that. And so she brought these boots in, and I couldn't believe she stripped all the color off of them. We had this stuff that it would strip all the color off, and then they dried, and then the next day we worked together. She re-dyed them, and we had really fantastic leather products. They were really nice creams and stuff. And to this day, I haven't seen those any longer. They probably don't even make them. One of the items we did use was Dubbin, Dubbin, which was pig fat, and it smelled like fresh bacon. And that was like the big rescue to condition something. And the only thing is, it took a while for that pig smell to go out. Um, yeah, it had to kind of fade away. But it was outrageously good. I mean, it also waterproofed, whatever you were using it on. And it didn't change the color of the leather or anything like that. But anyway, where most conditioners will, and a lot of them will lighten up in time, and some never do. Um, but anyway, I learned so much about leather, and it makes you really appreciate leather so much more. Uh, people wear leather not just because it's leather. Um, yeah, a lot of it looks and feels good and smells great, just like in a car when you get a brand new car and it's all leather inside. But it has a really good use. you know, as compared to fabric. Some of the leathers are waterproof naturally. Some leathers last longer than others. They have different textures, different looks, um, and you know the difference between a high-end leather, an expensive leather, and a cheap cowhide um, is an incredible difference, and that's where your $100 bills get tacked on and added on for the higher end leathers. Um, uh, and the mistake that people make, like I was looking on eBay researching some leather jackets, and it was really funny how they said split suede in the title, which to me is really ignorant. And that's only because on the label it says split suede because they don't know a thing about leather. They have no clue what they're talking about. First of all, leather is leather. Suede is a split leather skin. Okay? That's how it gets to be suede. Don't think it just came off the animal furry like that, because it doesn't. It's a skin. And for those of you, I was a vegetarian for 7 years, so I don't want to hear about all this vegan and all this other crap. I when I went to college at Rogers State in Oklahoma, I came in floor length mink coat and leather boots, and somebody said, "Oh my God, how can you wear that?" Oh, it's just horrible. And I'm like, "Why?" And they're like, "Well, because it was made from an animal." And I'm like, "So?" I mean, it's not like somebody just shoots an animal and strips the skin off and runs. You got to understand that that's food. It's not a pet. It's food, just like with deer. Deer skin makes beautiful jackets and gloves. Um, and boar skin uh, makes really super heavy duty, long lasting, nice leather garments. And it has a neat texture to it and a very velvety feel. But really durable, so it's obviously gonna be more expensive. Cowhide is cowhide. It just is cowhide. It's just like the low end. I don't care what kind of cow it is and how much the cow costs. It's cowhide. Okay, that's your bottom of the barrel. That's Wilson's House of Suede and Leather. That's right. Glued together. They didn't learn how to sew the stuff till years later, but glued together and cowhide. That's all you're getting, you know, and whatever colors they can dye it in. Um, it's just cheap to go leather. Leatherbound LTD was high end, really well made, beautiful garments and shoes and boots and accessories for business, briefcases, you name it. Boarskin suede is a suede. It's a split hide. That's how it's a suede, just like a carpet has a pile to it. If you ever saw shag carpet, that's pile. Um, or carpet versus tile. Tile doesn't have any texture to it. It's just smooth. And carpet has a texture to it because it's kind of furry. So there's your difference. Okay. You split the skin, you get two skins. You get two pieces of suede, and there you have it. Or you get one fine skin with the suede on the bottom, and another skin that's just suede. So you can make two things out of it. Boarskin suede is very heavy, and again, they used the bones for soup. They used the meat to eat, and they used the hide to make clothing. Now, leather and suede are nice because the wind and stuff doesn't blow through like it does fabric, okay? Because it's a hide. Just like the people in Alaska. They have big, furry, beautiful coats made out of the different animals and stuff, and they're gorgeous. and they have to wear them to keep them warm, okay, to survive, because humans are not born with skins like that, okay? All right? So, yeah. Um, so, there's your lecture for being vegan, vegetarian, whatever you want to call it. You want to be warm, you want to have classic clothes, get some leather. They'll last a lifetime and another lifetime and another lifetime. This particular jacket is from the 80s. This jacket is boar skin suede. Let me show you about boar skin suede. Boar skin suede has little dots in it. You see the little dots? That's not that's not dandruff, dust, or lint. That's dots. That's from the hair of the animal. They have real coarse hair, sort of like the cabretta lamb. Cabretta, if you've ever seen uh, um, jackets that look like they're plastic, but it's real leather. It's real shiny, and it has the little holes in it, the little texture. That would be probably cabretta, which is waterproof, naturally waterproof. You can wear it in the rain. That's right. It just roll right off of it because the hair follicles are are so close together that it's like sealed just naturally. So this is a boar skin suede. It's made out of a wild boar. Okay, a pig, a boar. It's super durable, and you can always tell right off the top if it's a boar skin suede because of all the little dots in it. Here's a real dotty spot here. See the dots? Little pokey dots. Pokey dots. Um, uh, it's a boar skin suede. I can tell by touching it to know that it's a boar skin suede and it's not like some other stuff. Um, and I can tell by touching it and not even seeing the dots to tell the difference between a cowhide suede and a boar skin suede. They just feel different. Um, and of course, as I said before, the boar skin suede is a more expensive skin, just like a cabretta is more expensive. Um, because of the purposes they suit, what they do. And then secondly, the texture and the look. So, yeah. So when you say it's split skin, because you didn't spend the time to research the garment you're listing, see, like here, see, genuine split leather. Well, this is leather. This is leather. My shoe, it's a Reebok. It's leather, but it's not suede leather. It's just the full leather with the shiny part on it. You know what I mean? The smooth part. The suede is the textured where it's furry, you know. And all these different leathers have different treatment that you need to do to them to keep them nice. Suedes have to be brushed. Suedes can be cleaned. Most things you can get out of suede. You can also treat leathers. I'm not a big fan of treating leathers with sprays and other stuff because it just lays over the top. I prefer just to clean it. It's not hard to keep up. Suede has that velvety texture. It feels like velvet. It's real soft. A lot of people like it because of the texture. You use a suede brush And if you get a part that gets shiny where it looks like regular leather, that's a hide that's shiny like your shoes, all you gotta do is take a pencil eraser and it'll pick the pile back up and brush it with a suede brush. Um, and A suede brush is just a stiff little brush. It almost looks like a nail brush. And you can use other brushes. I mean, sometimes I use a toothbrush on there. Just be careful and don't scratch it all up. Um, uh, you can get spray that's made suede. I usually use just alcohol. That's right, just a bottle of alcohol. Um, you don't want to rub too hard or anything because you pull the color, the dye out of it. This is a dyed hide. It doesn't come this way off the board, okay? It's dyed, and um, and yes, they can be re-dyed and retouched and all that good stuff. But when it gets shiny around the edges, I've already treated this jacket and everything and worked on it. But if you get little shiny spots that look like, regular leather that's shiny, not a split skin, then you just use an eraser to pick it back up and it pulls that pile back up and then brush it. If you get something on it, you can usually use, pour a bunch of alcohol on a really soft washcloth and try to, wipe it down. And it'll get darker as you go, so you have to let it dry and then do it again later when it's dry if it needs it again. Otherwise, you'll have to take it to a leather specialist. But it's really not hard to take care of. Um, so and uh, I mean, it's easier to do a smooth hide, that's not suede. But you know, uh, the suede just has such a nice feel to it. That's why people like it. It's a beautiful velvety texture. So there's a difference with your hides. When you say split skin or split hide, because that's how they make suede. You gotta split the skin to get the furry stuff. You have to. They take one skin and they split it, just like this little seam right here. They pull it apart, and that makes this furry part. Okay? Yeah, and you use both hides and to make something. So that's that's what it's all about. But for those of you that want to go on with your vegan and vegetarianism and all that stuff, like I said before, I was vegetarian 7 years and grew out of that. Um, it's a hard way to go. There's a lot of maintenance, a lot of stuff you have to eat to try to survive not eating meat, not having those proteins. And most of that stuff tastes like crap. Like the soy, I think I used to have to buy soy nuts or something at the health food store, and you'd be eating this stuff tastes like wood with no flavor because you got to have that, to maintain your body. So yeah, I was big time vegetarian, trust me. And but you know, it all boils down to one thing: leather is a wonderful thing. It's been used since caveman days. Okay, it's been around forever, and you sure don't want to waste anything. So if you're gonna eat the meat, use that skin. It's just like with people that like to eat snakes or crocodile or gator. It was illegal for years for clothes to be sold. I think it was the 70s or 80s that they stopped. They made an illegal ban or something on crocodile, gator skins, which was very popular in the earlier years for shoes and pocketbooks and things because it just lasts forever. Um, and uh, I was never into gator or any of that stuff because it kind of looks like dinosauric, you know. It just was never real appealing to me. There's a huge difference with leather shoes, versus plastic shoes. You go to Walmart and buy some little plastic shoes look like leather, and and you know, good leather shoes are really good for your feet, and they conform to the owner's body just like a jacket. The jacket will take the shape of that hanger. If you don't wear it, it's going to take the shape of the hanger. But if the same person wears that leather jacket all the time, that jacket will take the shape of the owner. That's why it fits so nice and perfect, and people just love their leather jacket because it fits them. It's from the heat of the body and from the movement of the body parts, their arms and whatever. It conforms to your body. So that's why it hangs so perfectly well, on you. Okay. It just transforms itself into your second skin. So there's your education on leather and suede. Your split skin. Yeah. Uh, so I hope I taught you something. And we'll see you on the next one. I love you guys. You have a great one and a blessed one. Be kind to a stranger. Love everybody. Too much of good thing is wonderful. And we'll take lots and lots of that. That's right. Love you.